listening to the Shite podcast show. Shut up and sit down.
Matthew McConaughey, girl. Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show. Mark and Ken.
What's crack?
On episode 212 of the Shite podcast show, like a pro.
You got the same backwards as this forwards.
Oh my god, it is, isn't it? Do you know, if anyone wants to know how long it takes us to do an intro, now they have the number.
Yeah, there you go.
212 attempts later, nailed it.
Yeah, finally got one right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I never actually knew that until you just said it. Is that it's 212 and it's the same frontwards as backwards.
Yeah, there you go.
That is crazy. And
Yeah,
so
left for the day.
So is what we have coming up on the show. The segues are back.
The segues were back.
Yeah, they had a bit of an outage.
Slowly falling into old habits, Mark.
Yeah. And I think on Monday we had an outage of Facebook. And everyone's like, what do we look at now? And at the time, I was wondering, I wonder how long it will take Instagram to start trending on Pornhub. Searches for Instagram and Facebook.
So what? Hang on, let's just get this straight. So Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp went down, and you were thinking, what do I do?
Well,
Pornhub.
Well, last time Facebook had an outage, Facebook actually started appearing on searches on Pornhub. Pornhub has like a search engine in case you want to find a particular fetish, and they were noticing people typing in Facebook. So they notice anytime there's a real time event happening, they see blowback on searches on their site. So like the nuclear disaster, like the warning signs, no porn, and then it shot up, and then obviously coronavirus was talked about, porn crazy going rampant on a St. Patrick's Day increased for the colours green, and last time Facebook crashed, there was a increased search for Facebook. So I was just like, I wonder if like there's now searches for like Instagram's stories or just like Instagram on Pornhub right now. That was my immediate top ones that I realised it was down.
What do people expect to find on Pornhub when they type in Facebook?
I guess that's what they're trying to find out. I wonder what would happen if I typed in Facebook. They're just bored because you probably just on Facebook for the past time. So they're like, what other sites do I like going on to? And the only other one they can think of is Pornhub. And so they go into Pornhub and say, I wonder if I typed in Facebook, what would happen? What pops up? So you just probably start searching random things. That's what I imagine. But yeah, that's my immediate thoughts. So we'll be talking about things like if social media in a like weird dystopian future where like social media sites are crashed and aren't able to be ever restored for some whatever reason. Things that we would miss from social media and things we would be glad to see the back of. So we're talking about that during the show today.
Why not?
Yeah. Then we'll be also talking about something that's divided the podcast. Ken's on one side of the fence, I'm on the other. We'll be talking about PJs, pajamas, parents wearing them to schools. Is it okay? Is it acceptable? Or is it okay for a school like they did in the UK to ban parents from wearing PJs or pajamas to schools? Do they have the power over the parents? Or is it only the kids that they can tell what to do? There's this is a weird story, and Meghan Trainor, I don't know a whole lot about Meghan Trainor. I think she's a singer. She's a singer, isn't she?
She's a something.
She's a singer anyway. I kind of feel I'll need to do a deep dive into Meghan Trainor. Not physically. Because I came across this story that her husband have just bought a house and they've got two toilets side by side. and apparently they like go into the bathroom at the same time, and I just don't think that's okay. So we're talking about that and boundaries, and is that acceptable in society today to be able to go to the toilet with your significant other?
Like, how do you even fucking time that? Yeah, we're both going to go to the toilet at the same time.
Yeah, I think sometimes one might just hang out in the bathroom while the other one goes to the toilet. Like, I mean, get out of the fucking bathroom.
Yeah, like, fuck off, leave me alone.
Yeah, like, it's that's my time. So we be talking about
like that's one of the things that parents give out with kids about that the kid is like outside the door going, "When you coming out?" Fuck off. That's when.
Go play the PlayStation, you fucking brat.
Yeah, fuck off.
And that's one thing. So that's the number one reason why I'll never have kids, Ken. That is the number one reason. No other reason why. Can see no other downfall other than they'd ruin your life. Yeah, and then a man, he pleads guilty for having man-made grenades in his house. This happened in the UK. This makes it a bit more weird. He had other weapons stashed, and it was for a very weird reason. It was he was preparing for a hypothetical apocalypse, and he's kind of like a doomsday prepper. And this was his doomsday prep, was having grenades and all these weapons stashed away just in case forever a time he needed them. And I was kind of thinking, like, I wonder if this is a thing that people do. I know there are doomsday preppers. People in the US have like vaults and places in case there's like a nuclear disaster, and canned food and toilet paper stashed away for just ever a time there's a shortage. I don't know. Have you ever been into doomsday prepping?
No.
I have, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what my doomsday prepping stories. So we'll be talking about that as well during the show. And then we've a welcome guest back to the show, a person that has been on the show for some time. He makes his long-awaited Idiots of the Week, and it's not even Machine Gun Kelly, but he will be an honorary one, apparently. Donald Trump returns to Idiots of the Week.
Yeah, he's back. He's back with a bang.
I kind of feel like I was nearly going to applaud. I was nearly going to clap. Welcome back. It's been a while. But he returns as an Idiot of the Week, and I'm excited to find out why. I don't know our guests are too.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And you get to that later on in the show. So as you see, we have a fun-filled show for our listeners today. A lot in it, a lot to get through. In the hour that we have allotted before the podcast just turns off. Just goes no, and my memory card fills up, and I go, oh shit,
and we go back into our little hole.
Yeah, then our podcast has now. It's just like Facebook. We're just copy things what Facebook does, and I think we'll be okay. Which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, Facebook outage happened on Monday, and basically, its site as well as his sister sites, Instagram and WhatsApp, also failed. It crashed. And I think it was something to do with they're doing some remodeling and something to do with some data center, and it basically someone plugged something out they probably shouldn't have plugged out or something like that. It's probably like not an accurate description of what happened, but yeah, they're doing some remodeling and basically
that's the story of what happened anyway.
Yeah, it's a very loose interpretation of what actually happened, but then I just imagined that like some guy was just like, okay, move that box over here, as all the servers shut down. And they're like, oh fuck, what did I do? I love to be there just to see the realization of like, oh butter, I am in so much shit.
Yeah, I am fired.
I am so fired. Do you know what? It just reminded me. I was in college. I studied animation in Ballyfermot, and there's this room that I thought was called the Black Room.
Oh,
funny story about this. So I was like, we were drawing. I don't know. I think we're doing animation. So in terms of, we're doing the like.
Oh, you were doing an animation course. You were doing animation.
We're doing the clips. I can't even know what they're called. There's 24 pictures per second. Anyway, so we were drawing frames. We were drawing the frames. So we're like getting a ball to move really slowly. So we're drawing a ball, and then we move it slightly to the next page, and basically we're testing to see it. And inside there's like a computer room where we put our drawings onto the computer and upload it to see the thing move. Anyway, so that's called a dark room. I thought, but no one says it's the dark room because like the ceilings are black, the roof is black, and the door is red. So I was like, oh, it's the black room. And there's a guy who couldn't speak. He's deaf, and he had an interpreter who was black. And everyone because Ireland's just not used to like multicultural society. So I was just like, so they're like, where is such and such? And I was like, he's in the black room, and everyone just stopped and looked and stared at me. I was like, what? they're like, they didn't even say, Mark, you can't say that. I was like, the walls are black, the ceiling's black, and it has a red door. What else would you call it? They're like, oh, it's a dark room, Mark. It's like, but there's a light in it. It's well lit. So like, everyone thought it was just like, are we able to say that? Are we able to call someone a black room? So that was funny. But anyway, in the black room, when I was in there, there's like a switch that I turned off that could have like turned off the server that would have deleted everyone's project. Not in my year, but in the entire animation course. And whoever.
You're like, you know that episode of Father Ted where they're on the plane?
Yeah.
And Dougal goes to the cockpit and there's like a big red button that says do not press it.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure your man, like who was in charge of us, the lecturer, was just like, yeah, I just make sure that these things aren't deleted, but you could be like, everything's gone. You're gonna be in a lot of trouble. I was like, oh shit. I'm in so much trouble. I was like, oh, but like, what my big problem was like, there's a switch that you're meant to turn on, and right beside is a switch apparently you're not meant to touch.
Wait, why do these things exist?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's like, why is this a thing? Why
is there always like a thing that's there to like, oh yeah, just don't touch that,
and no one talks about it. Like,
yeah, like that's just the thing. Like, I don't know why we have this thing that if you touch it, it like creates like doomsday and it kills the whole planet.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to put it beside something that we use every day.
Yeah, we're going to put it beside this thing that we always use,
and it's going to look the exact same.
Yeah, it's going to be the exact same, except it's going to just have little writing on it that says "Do not push."
And no one's going to notice it at all.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Yeah. So so that was my story. So I kind of feel your man's pain is what I'm saying here in Facebook. I kind of feel like, oh, I know how he feels. I just love to see that. And your man's just looking around going, oh. But,
oh shit!
Yeah,
done it again.
Like, did you have any like problems with this? Were you trying to contact people, or you were like?
No, it actually worked out well for me because everything in work is done over WhatsApp. So I was just like, bleh.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's like, there's so much kind of WhatsApp groups and Messenger groups. They all just went dark, and this is like,
yeah. So I was happy out with it.
Do you know what? The one thing I realized was that I didn't have a lot of people's numbers. So people that I would message on WhatsApp or Messenger, I didn't actually have to have their number. So if I had to get actually in contact with them, I was like, I have no means of contacting them. This is my only means of contacting them is through these groups, especially Messenger, because like WhatsApp, you can at least go on and all their numbers are on WhatsApp, so you can get their numbers and call them. But if you're on Messenger, it's connected to Facebook, and you mightn't have their number on readily available to actually call them, or at least get that off it. So I was like, I think I was picking a guy up, go training one day, and I just texted him and say, hey, my side. And it's on Messenger. And it's like, I don't think that's sent, because it wasn't given the blue kind of tick to say it's sent. It was just like a circle. I was like, I'm not sure which house is his. I should know this. I pick him up every week. But I don't want to knock on the wrong house, and I'm not taking this chance. Yeah, because I had to do with somebody else where I was picking up from training, and I forgot my phone at home. And so I was like, "Oh, which house does he live in?" And like, thankfully I picked the right house. I was like, "I'm just going to knock on the door, and hopefully it's the right house." He answered her like, what's happening here? Why are you calling to my house? We're going training. It's like you could have texted.
I can't tell, but that's the thing. Like, nobody has anybody's phone number anymore.
Yeah, see, everything's either through Facebook or through these apps, and so that's what I think everyone realizes. There's a reliance on WhatsApp groups in terms of the businesses, how affected they are if a WhatsApp group goes down. Like, they have to get everybody's number and start texting people individually.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the times where I kind of just noticed, I got a text message, and I went onto WhatsApp to see what the message was, and there was no message there. It's like, well, I heard a ding literally 2 seconds ago, and I don't have my text message thing on my phone really. On iPhones, they give you 4 apps that are the most common ones used. You kind of it's usually call, Facebook, your text message. I have WhatsApp there because I use it more often than text message. I have to go find the messaging thing. I was like, who sent me a text message? And then I realized, it's gone. it's down. It's like, this is like back in the day. This is like sending text messages.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me too much though.
No, it didn't bother me. I did jump onto Twitter just to see if there was that and what people were saying about it, and I was like, I don't care about Twitter. Twitter's so redundant.
I don't even have Twitter.
Mark out. Yeah, but it was weird. A lot of people on Twitter was like, "Oh, back to Bebo." It's like, and then people are putting up Bebo screenshots as they have an actual Bebo account. They're that desperate for social media.
I never had a Bebo account either.
Oh, did you not? Were you a MySpace person?
I had a band, so we had a MySpace.
Oh, cool! Good way to connect with the audience.
But I never really used it.
You weren't in control of the social media back there.
No.
It was just that one guy that
seems like a drummer job.
Yeah, that one guy who had to spend hours of his day putting up photos.
What do you call a guy who hangs out with 3 musicians?
The drummer?
A drummer.
I would have said the singer should have been it, but okay.
Well, the singer was... Well, originally we had a singer, then the singer left and I was a singer, so...
Oh, Ken can sing! This is interesting.
No.
That's why the band failed. Ken just refused to sing on stage. I'm not singing this. Everybody look away. Everybody look away.
We were a metal band. We didn't need to sing.
Yeah, shout.
Yeah, it was okay.
Alright. Yeah, I guess if you can't sing, do metal.
You got the job done.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be a singer and you can't sing, form a metal band.
I didn't even want to be a singer.
So I thought it was a good idea to talk about things that we would miss and things that we would definitely not miss from social media.
Okay.
So things like, what will be your biggest annoyance on social media? Because you don't strike me as a person that overtly uses social media.
So everything about it annoys me.
Like what?
It's just everything. Why does everything need to be on social media?
So, do you think people posting photos of their food is kind of annoying?
People posting photos of their food is annoying. People posting photos of their kids is annoying. People posting fucking photos of their whatever is annoying. Everything is annoying on it.
There's a lot of things. I think if people do something seldomly, I don't seem to be bothered by it.
I don't care if there's about 4 people that post semi-regularly that don't annoy me.
Yeah, like some people do a really good job of it, and they're actually entertaining on social media. Like you don't mind them
And then
posting.
there's people that are like 43 and posting like they're 16-year-olds that really annoy me.
But like everyone has that though. Everyone has people who absolutely drives them up the walls. But they follow them. They're friends with them, or they follow them, and every day you're just getting like pissed off that you're seeing their feeds every day. And it's like I remember there was a girl that would post photos of, I think either her baby or her dog. But I had to unfollow it because like every single day it was just like barrage of like, I think it might be, I don't know. There was definitely like, it could have been like both baby and or dog, because there's like two different people. But I just had to be like, I'm out. I don't want to see every day your photo of your baby. I don't care about your baby. I really don't care. I seen it yesterday, and guess what? I seen it the day before. It isn't that impressive. I also hate the narrating of what the baby's doing. The parents think, oh, I'll talk my audience through what my baby's doing, and I'll talk to my child, because that's not annoying.
You see, I'm okay with this if it's funny. There's only one person that I'm friends with that has a baby that I don't mind posting baby photos. Everybody else is really annoying about it, but it's funny, or it's like not annoying to me when this other person does it.
Yeah, because I was talking to a guy we know, and he was just like, you can see it on their face they're not, but they go, oh my god, having a child is the best thing I ever did. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And it's just like what we said back in the day of being like taking a shit. And then people, their life comes about their child. They have photos of their child. And then they get unfriended.
They get unfriended.
So, you know, and there's one thing that I would definitely not like miss from social media is the politicalness of your friends group on Facebook. It doesn't happen as much on Instagram, but there's people who might annoy you, but they're either really good friends with your family, or they're related to you, or they're like, or you know them in person.
You can't get rid of them.
Yeah, or you're friends with them in work, or not even friends with them in work. You work with them, and you can't get rid of them. So, like, Facebook has a feature where you can unfollow them. So you're still if they look into their friends group, you're actually friends with them. But you never get their feed. So that's what I do a lot of those people. So there is actually ways of just like quieting them out of your life.
Instagram has that too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, you can restrict people.
Yeah, because like when I first started my Instagram, I was like, I don't want to, like, I have Facebook, so I don't want to follow any of my friends or anybody I know. I'm only going to follow people I admire and people stuff like this. And so like there's a time where like I wasn't friends with, there's large peoples of like people in my groups that I don't follow on Instagram, and then it's come to the point where it's now awkward, where it's gone too far. I can't send them a follow because they'll get a notification saying Mark has started following you, and they're like, what? He hasn't been already? He's missed out on so much cool shit. And like I was on holidays with like my friends were over in Bali, and like they're probably a few of my really, really close friends. Like went to school with them, known for years, and I realized that I didn't actually follow them on Instagram. And that's because like they're talking about a photo they posted on Instagram, and I was like, oh really? And I didn't really realize that. They're like, oh, did you not see it on my Instagram? I was like,
no, I didn't.
Oh no, where is it? And I was like, oh wait, I think I don't follow you on Instagram. And they're like, what? How do you not follow me on Instagram? I was like, I just don't follow people. I know. I only follow people I don't know. This thought it was weird. So like I wouldn't miss that politicalness of Facebook. Another thing. One of the things I would miss about social media is comment sections on RT page and stuff like that. I love I don't know what it is about it. I love reading this on like the comment sections on like likes
Comment sections annoy me.
on likes. We don't have to read them then. You don't have to read them. But
Yeah, but you always see, like, Facebook in particular does this fucking thing where it shows you, like, even you mightn't even be friends with the person, you mightn't have any fucking friends in common with the fucking dickhead.
oh, that's where the
But
best ones are.
shows you, like, under a post, it'll have fucking comments from some fucking stupid spastic.
Yeah, but you don't have to read them if you don't want them. Like that's it.
Yeah,
What
but
I
like,
love about them is
it's
reading.
right there.
I go down like I do a deep dive. I go like you know where you click on it and you can see more, and I hit more, and then I realize like I'm a good bit down the page. Like I've read like there's like 200 comments down at this stage, and I'm just watching people have these fucking irate arguments, and they're tagging the person that they have absolutely no clue who they are. I'm friends with them, man. Just seeing the comment, and they keep talking, and they're having this like massive long conversation, and there's people just tagging each other in the post, and then they start the conversation again and again and again, and they're just going on for literally hours of having this rant, and you're like, these people are insane. You're just like, and I'm just there scrolling, reading it, just watching this argument unfold. So I just love how people are like, both of them are insane, but both of them think the other person is insane and think they're 100% rational. So I would miss that. I'd just love to watch, to read through all these like really crazy. Like I can't spend too long doing it. I always kind of have to go, okay, that's enough. Get off this. This is not healthy. This is just like, but just watching people just have irate conversations and just constantly tagging the person in it. Especially when the other person's just now realizing they're just taking a piss out of them. They're just like putting up memes, and the person's getting more and more irate. And they're just like, they're just trolling them at this stage.
Like, I don't know. I don't particularly like social media though. I don't think it's not healthy for like people's self confidence. It's not healthy for like people's self image.
See, here's my 2 cents on that. Is if that's the worst, if social media is the worst things happening in your life, you have fuck all to complain about. Like, these people go,
It might necessarily be the worst thing that's happening in your life, but it makes the things that are happening in your life worse.
I know, like, okay, you're looking at people and they're really successful, and like there's just people who are the most post the most, are the least happy, blah blah blah. Like, stop comparing yourself to people on social media. Like,
it was like, how do you tell that to like a fucking teenager? Like, that's all teenagers do is compare themselves to everything.
Yeah, but like, it's okay. It's one thing to look at someone and go, oh, they have a good life. Why can't I be like that? To a point where I go, okay, there's obviously things that I'm unhappy about in my life. What can I change in order for me to be more? And then maybe it's just a reflection. Maybe people could be more positive and go, actually, okay, there's something obviously here that I'm not happy with. Let's see if I can change it. Let's see if I can improve my way of living. And I think it's all about like people who you follow. Obviously, there's people who are negative or on social media or only post like really glamorous outreach. Like if you're following people who are on yachts and have all these women around them and are like just basically like a gamer, and like just seems like they like by some miracle has this life at like 19 years old, and you're like, oh my god, I have to go get up and go to college, and I have to work in Centra, and I have to like have all these like shit things that I have to do in my life. It's very hard to compare. It's very hard to go, oh well, I if I work really hard, I can get to that. But like, there could be like, I don't know. I think people look at themselves, go, I can never improve myself. Whereas instead of looking at a person on social media and going, I can never be that. Well, how close can I get to that, or what can I do, or how are the steps that I can make it? Like, and trying to better themselves, I kind of feel.
But it's not even just a lifestyle thing; it's like an image thing as well, though. Like, you've got Kardashians are an example of this. You've got Kardashians that have spent fucking millions on making themselves look not like the horrible, stupid messes that they are.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can understand people are...
And then you've got like teenage girls that think, oh, that's what I need to do to like be considered good enough for a boy.
Well, I can.
You've got all that shit going on, and that's not healthy at all.
Well, it depends. Like once again, who they follow. Like if you could follow a personal trainer who's basically puts up photos of their exercise and going, all right, this is what I do every day. If like, okay, if you're interested in fitness or if you want to look like this, here's the food I eat, here's the supplements I take. Now they probably are also being false in like they're also on steroids or women.
Yeah, and they're also like, I know a personal trainer who actually will put up a photo. He put up a before and after photo of somebody, and he'd say this is 1 week's improvement. No, that's actually like 8 months of like fucking this person doesn't actually have a job. They just go on to work out with you for 8 hours a day. That's not 1 week's fucking training. You get people then that are going and they start going to him and then they get discouraged after a week because they haven't lost fucking 6 stone like this other guy did. And he's going, no, he just works harder. He just works harder.
Yeah, well, I think it's weird. Like human beings are so different, and how they perceive imagery is so different. Like so, like I can be on Instagram, and there's like people who I follow on Instagram and go, oh Jesus, they have the life, or oh they're very very successful. But I wouldn't be begrudging. I wouldn't be like getting down on myself, going, oh well, why can't I be like that? I just go, oh, fair play to them, or oh my god, I wonder what they did to get to there. Like there's people who like I remember when it was a winter's day, and there's people who train in like Spain, and I was like, they're just putting up photos, and it's like 20 degrees, 18 degrees, and they're out on the beach, and then later on they're like in training in like Spain, and I was just like freezing cold winter, then going to like a fridge box of a gym, going training in a hoodie while everybody's sniffling around you, and you're like, oh. Wouldn't it be nice to be in Spain? Then I'm like, I'd have to learn Spanish, I'd have to get a job in Spain, I'd like it. And like what you're seeing is a lot of times when you're on these pages, you're seeing the best part of people's lives. You're not seeing like the hour, like what they do for a living. You're not seeing, a lot of times you don't see like the houses that they live in if they're just posting like gym photos. You're not seeing kind of the hours they're spending on the computer trying to get to like perfect photos and all stuff like that. Like I just feel like I can see people who like either have better bodies than me or are more successful than me or stuff like that, and I don't get affected by it. I don't look at it and go, oh shit, I'm shit, but other people will, and I can kind of understand that, where people, and it's like the kind of like the notifications are all meant to give you like kind of endorsements, are meant to be kind of addictive for you to like actually keep going back on it. So like for people who are affected like that, are like kind of, they look at it and go, oh, I hate looking at this because it makes me feel bad about myself, but I'm addicted to it. Or I get the, like, I just can't stop going onto it, even though it makes me feel bad. And I kind of feel like, okay, if you're like that, then you probably need times where you need to get off it.
Like that's like social media is just bad for your mental health.
I don't think it's bad for everyone's mental health. There's certain people it's bad for their mental health, and other people, they can, like, I don't think I'm really affected too much by it. I can go on it, and I'm not really comparing myself.
But see,
to other people.
yeah, like I think though that's because you're a little bit older. Like if like you didn't, me and you didn't grow up in a time where Facebook was a fucking thing. Like
we did. We I was 18. I was like 17, 18 when I started going on social medias. Like I remember
I was 23.
Yeah, so like I'd say
like
I definitely did grow up with social medias, but there wasn't as much, like, people was just basically your friends, like, and you're only posting like photos, like back then you're only posting photos of your night out or something like that. You're not really, and everything was like really badly photographed. You're not posting like there was no such thing of like a Instagram model that you'd be following back in the day.
I just think it's just.
One of the things I wouldn't miss is the virtual signers. People who are come on Instagram and goes like, I just think it was like so great to have like everybody just switched off from Facebook. When it crashed, everyone's like coming out going, how peaceful was it not to be on Facebook? It's like, well, it was pain in the hole for some if you're in a WhatsApp group. Now everyone's affected by your fucking bullshit. and they're like, this like is so damaging for everybody's mental health. And it's just like, it's not damaging for everybody's mental health. It's damaging for your mental health. And there's people who like just like it, but like other people are completely fine and are not currently posting on Facebook or Instagram saying how much they hate about this. Like they complain about social media, yet they post every day on social media. You know those people?
Yeah.
Or virtual signalers would piss me off. Or, you know, people who are absolutely not successful but always post inspirational quotes.
Yeah, or people who can't do squats and always post about doing squats.
Or yeah, that's what that push-up challenge thing like showed me. Like people cannot do push-ups.
Yeah. Or just people that are in their 40s acting like they're 16.
Yeah, so that all that would not. We need to like quickly move on from the show because we spent a lot of that. So yeah, that's a few things that we'd probably miss and not miss about social media. Moving on to our next topic. This could be just as divisive, and it's around parents in a school that were banned from wearing the pajamas when they're dropping the kids off at school.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you are why are you against schools banning this?
I just think it's none of the school's business. Like, look, I don't like when people are going around wearing pajamas all day. Like, if you come into the shop wearing pajamas, we are definitely going to laugh at you. But like, if the parents are wearing pajamas, dropping the kids off to school, who gives a fuck?
See, I think first of all, it's the thing of like people aren't just like, you know, I don't know in England, but like maybe they are in England doing this, but there's definitely a culture of it, especially around Dublin, where people would just wear going out pajamas. Like they'd get dressed in their going out pajamas to go instead of putting on actual clothes and going out. And like, I think like it's not like you're not setting great examples for your kids if you're going around in your pajamas like all day. Like it's like and especially like I seen one photo and there's a man, he's in his nightgown, and so like if people have like their nightgown on and then like thing they're not properly dressed as well, like it's different. Like, you know those kind of like old school pajamas where it's like a button up thing and there's a collar on it and stuff like that, and they're pretty much dressed up. But if people are wearing just like a nightgown and they basically like a robe, it's like a robe. They're just wearing a robe and they're like
Like a dressing gown.
Yeah, dressing down. If they're wearing a dressing gown and they're scantily dressed, then I'm kind of like, yeah, wear fucking clothes. No one wants to see your fucking saggy tits, or no one wants to see your fucking hairy chest.
I see the pictures though. The pictures that were posted of this are literally like it's full pajamas. It's not like somebody out in their fucking boxer shorts and a fucking dressing.
But
like
I'm just like, if you
full
can,
pajamas,
if you have time to like put on pajamas, then you have time to put on a t-shirt and jeans and shoes.
Yeah, but you like what if you're just like, oh fuck it, I'll just get up. Say,
like, where are these people going after this? Like, are you just go?
Maybe you're going back to bed. Maybe you work nights. Maybe you just got out of bed to leave the kid to work and you're going back to bed.
If you're working nights, why put on your pajamas? Why put on your pajamas for? Why would you just not stay fully dressed?
If you come in from work at like, say you're in at like 7 o'clock in the morning, the kid's not going to school till 9. Why not just go to bed?
You have 2 hours. You have to get those kids up, right? You have to fucking try to get them out of bed, which will take probably a half an hour. Then you have to try to make them eat food, which will take another half an hour. Then you have to get them their lunches organised.
In schools, I think they give you breakfast, so you don't even have to feed them.
You probably most people would still have to get like a 7 o'clock. If you be getting up at like 7 o'clock, I know and then you have your commute. Like if you came in at 7, you wouldn't be like, kids are 9 till 9. You have half an hour of an hour to rest on. Especially if you have multiple kids, those little bastards are a nightmare to get up in the morning.
If you've worked, like, it depends on what your job is. If you've worked 12 hours, if you just did a 12-hour shift and you just come home, you're going to go to bed for those 2 hours.
No. You go to bed if your partner is bringing your kids to school, but I
just think the school has absolutely no business telling you how you should dress leaving your kids to school.
Yeah, like You were saying you're against school uniforms as well.
I'm against school uniforms as well. Yeah.
I was, especially in school, I was like, I don't see why people can't wear their own clothes, and like allegedly what it is for, they say it's like it was to get people used to working in factories years ago. That's why they brought out uniforms, because obviously what we were always told, like when you're in a job, you're gonna have to wear a uniform and blah blah blah. You have to get used to wearing a uniform. This is training you for the real world, and that's what school's system is like, kind of designed for, is get people ready for factory work, and
Yeah, that's all it is.
And that's why they enforce all these rules, is so that kids get used to obeying stuff like.
Yeah, they tell you when to sit, they tell you when to eat, they tell you when you can go to the toilet, they tell you what you should wear.
Yeah, and you kind of get used to like a pecking order and not questioning authority, and that's the design of the uniforms. But it also has a second function. Like anytime we question like teachers in class, sometimes you might have a free class and
you're going to give the answer that I have a problem with.
What?
That it's to stop kids getting bullied because of money and stuff.
Well, like the issue is that school uniforms, everyone's wearing the same thing, and there isn't a competition over what you look like. So everyone has to wear the same thing.
I have an issue with this one. So when I was in school, that's the reason that we were given for having a school uniform. That there's some people in the school that don't make as much money. Their families don't have as much money as other families, and they can't buy branded tracksuits and stuff to send their kids to school. But the school tracksuit is only available in one shop. Where when I was in school, it was €60 for the jumper and €120 for the tracksuit. Right? That's just one jumper, one tracksuit. If you've got multiple kids going to school, that's more money than that again. You've got there was one kid in my year that his family obviously didn't have that much money, and his parents took his brother's old ripped jumper, cut the crest off it, bought a jumper the same color and sewed it in, and that kid got bullied because his jumper didn't look like everybody else's jumper.
Yeah, but
he was wearing a school uniform.
Yeah, but like he imagine that was then times their like, especially girls, they like if girls were wearing the same, if they wore, let's say, a top 3 times in, like, let's say a few months, they'd be like, oh, look at her constantly wearing the same things, and that would just be times 1,000 if they were allowed.
There is still a solution to this. You just ban brands. You can't wear Nike, you can't wear Reebok, you can't wear Adidas. It has to be unbranded, plain clothing.
Well, like the kids might have like Nike. Then parents have to go out and buy unbranded clothes, and it could be a pain in the hole because the kids could have worn like a Man United t-shirt and want to wear the Man United t-shirt to school, and they couldn't be allowed.
It's a pain in the hole for parents that can't afford to be paying £200 every fucking year for a new jumper and a new fucking tracksuit.
But if they still have to buy multiple clothes, like if a girl, like no matter what, she has to have a different, like a quarterly change of wardrobe. Like her wardrobe has to be switched out every 3 months.
A load of penny stuff for less than that, far less than that.
Well, like we always got like, I know in our school there was jumpers that were handed in, and like if they were in good nick, you could actually buy.
Our school didn't do that. Like you would actually get in trouble if your jumper was ripped. Like you got sent home and you had to stay at home till you got a fucking new jumper.
Yeah, and our shirts, like other than I think the tie and like the shirts and the pants, all could be bought in pennies. Like all could be bought in your
Yeah, ours couldn't. It was like there's one shop in Clane that sells a school uniform, and that's it. It was when I first started going to school in first year, it was €45 for the jumper. In sixth year, it was £60 for the jumper.
Yeah,
and now they've changed the school uniform, and there's 2 school uniforms. There's one for first to third year, and there's one for fifth and sixth year.
Yeah, ours was the same. Ours did switch, but like you could buy a second-hand jumper that were left in good nick, and there was things, but if you still only have to buy maybe 2 jumpers to do the the whole year, whereas you could have to buy 3 or 4 hoodies that are 60 quid a pop, and like
Yeah, but if you ban it, there's no branded clothing allowed. So like you can buy fucking hoodies in pennies for
well,
like a
then
tenner.
kids would have to go, like every year. Kids would have to go out and buy unbranded hoodies. Like the kids might walk around. Like kids will still want brands. Like when they're anyway, they still want their
Yeah,
kind of
but my
like.
point is it's going to be cheaper than a school uniform. The whole point is that it doesn't discriminate against
Well,
kids that
because
don't have too
parents
much
would have
money.
to buy more
It's
clothes
cheaper.
then, because like like growing up, I was a huge skateboarding fan. I would still want my like DC hoodie. I still want my
But you're
like
still saving
Nirvana
money.
T-shirt. I would still want my like thing, other stuff like that. And just because they have a brand or a band or it costs 30 quid, like then my parents would have to go out and buy me all of those clothes that I wanted to wear outside school, and then you'd have a full wardrobe in school, and that would put financial
But
pressure on.
you're still saving money with it though.
You're not really. You cause
You
more of
are.
an expense.
If you've got your school uniforms costing you, so you're talking 2 jumpers,
I love this how this is a conversation between 2 people who will never have kids.
right? You're talking 2 school jumpers is 120 quid.
Yeah.
School tracksuit is 120 quid. That's 240 quid. Like you can get.
I don't
like,
know if
fucking t-shirt
wait,
and pennies is a fiver.
wait. Our school uniform, I don't know what it was, but I think it might have been 20, 30 quid, and that's the only.
Yeah, our
and
school
everything else
uniform
everything else could have been bought. And I think most schools were, because I remember I grew up in Ace. From what I know, that the pants, like all pants, were that kind of grey color. From any school I've ever seen, they're all that grey color. So all those can be bought. Grey pants can be bought in like the pennies and duns. You can buy the pants quite cheaply. Shoes will have to be black. So they are also be bought. Like the school section usually had different colors around duns that had different color
the only
ties.
thing is, when I
So
was in school,
that was clearly just a Klein thing.
the only things that you could buy that didn't have to be bought in this shop were your trousers and your shoes.
Trousers, shoes, and shirts were like, for us, were all like you can buy
Everything else had to be bought in this shop. There was just one shop that
I think that was
it.
just your experience then, because like from what
Yeah, but
the vast majority of time I went to school,
why,
because I went to school like in Nace, but I also went to school in Rathcoole, and I also went to school in Tala. So like, and I changed around in a couple of schools. Like I think I was in 5 schools in terms of secondary school. I was in 3 primary schools and 1 secondary school. And I'm nearly certain all of our stuff, we were just dragged around pennies. And I think the only thing that we really had to buy was maybe the tracksuits. In secondary school, we could just wear our own clothes in terms of tracksuits. Like we could wear sports clothes so we didn't have a tracksuit in secondary school. That was only a primary school thing. And then like we had our uniform. Like the only thing we had to buy after school was the top, which was I think it was 20 quid. We could buy it second hand. I think most places are set up like that. Like I think it obviously works in other countries, and I don't know. I just I think it should be the parents that decide, because it seems like a school thing, and parents should they have parents meetings, and I think at school, or if parents go, we want actually to have uniforms, or because it's easier for us, or these uniforms are paying the whole.
Everybody continuously, since before I went to secondary school, everybody continuously gives out that the school uniform is so expensive and it's only available in one shop.
Yeah, well, they should ask them to change providers. They're buying a product, and like I said, the only thing we had to really buy was the top, and that was it in our school. And like I said, that's always really been the case. It was always
and
just.
It's a men's shop as well. That's what makes it even worse. Women, the girls have to go in and get measured up in a men's shop.
In a suit shop.
Huh?
In a suit shop. Girls wear suits too. Hashtag feminism. Hashtag girls wear suits.
Well, it's called menswear. The shop is called fucking whatever, menswear.
Cool. We're going to get off this because we have now. We've ran out of time. We went on a rant about Facebook, and we're going to go. We should leave divisive topics because it tends to take up a lot of our show. So we'll go on to. I think we'll go on to we'll go on to Idiot of the Week, and we'll go on to Donald Trump, I think. And so this part of the show created for idiots, by idiots, and it's where basically we talk about people doing dumb things. And we've had a person missing from our show for quite a while, but he's come back with a bang. Donald Trump has made our Idiots of the Week.
Again.
Yeah. Why has Donald Trump made our Idiots of the Week?
So he's done, there's two things. There's one that's an alleged thing, and there's one that's an actual thing. So he was on a TV show.
Let's take them as both as fact.
We'll take them both as fact.
Actually, no, we're not. Allegedly.
He was on a TV show during the week where he said that he has done more for Christianity than anybody in history.
So this is a factual one then?
This is the factual one, yeah. But, pretty sure Jesus probably did more for Christianity than Donald Trump did.
Well, you wouldn't just have to say Jesus. Like he was the kind of guy who inspired it anyway. But wouldn't you say the Pope does quite a lot?
Well, the Pope probably hasn't done, as much as somebody like. Who's the first Pope? Was it Saint Peter?
I don't know.
Saint Paul. He probably did more for Christianity, really, like realistically, than Donald Trump did.
Yeah.
He kind of started the whole fucking thing. But Donald Trump reckons he did the most because he tried to, what's his wording on it? He tried to tried to repeal the Johnson Amendment, which prohibits non-profit organizations such as the church from promoting political candidates without losing their tax-exempt status. So, like, the church has to remain neutral, or it's supposed to remain neutral in political matters, or they lose their tax-free status.
Yeah.
And, he wanted to get rid of that so that they could be like, Donald Trump is a man of God.
Well, isn't that more like Christian, like Southern Christian kind of is always seemed to be more Republican? So it's just a way of getting more endorsements for the Republican Party. It was kind of a political move.
Yeah, well, like he's saying, I did more for Christianity than anybody in history. And you probably didn't really.
Well, yeah, I think this was like a really big part of his candidacy or his presidency was claiming he did a lot when he didn't do a whole lot for, like he would say, I am the most, I'm the best president for business, and then he got into a trading war with the Chinese and Europeans because
like where he said last week, I don't know why we didn't have him on last week, because he said last week that the coronavirus pandemic was over when he was leaving office, and Biden brought it back.
Yeah, like he kind of makes, he does make kind of statements, and like, be honest, a lot of times he makes statements just to create headlines and people talk about it. Like that's one thing he did great, was like creating media attention for himself, and he knew how to get people riled up, and like anything with a Donald Trump thing got more clicks or more comments. So social media sites would constantly have Donald Trump because they are getting more activity.
He's almost as big of an idiot as Machine Gun Kelly.
Almost as big an idiot of Machine Gun Kelly. So like other than like the Pope, Jesus, and there's plenty others. We want to throw fictional characters around. We could throw who's the patron saint of Kildare? I was going to say Nace. St. Bridget. Then you have St. Patrick. I think St. Patrick was an actual real person. I don't know about Bridget.
No, St. Bridget. She was real.
I think she's like a pagan goddess.
She was a pagan, and they
copied before.
Church,
yeah,
the whole fucking Curra thing was because the church she was worshipped in the Curra as a god, and they came over and they were like, "Oh, here, look, we let you keep all this land, but you have to tell people to become Christians."
Yeah,
we won't kill you.
Yeah, before copyright infringement was a thing, they're like, "Yeah, well, if we're going to rebrand or throw a Christianity sticker on it, yeah, you can have your Bridget."
Yeah, you say no to it, we'll just kill you.
Yeah. So, and then, what was the other story?
There is a woman. Does it say what her name is? Stephanie Grisham, who used to work in the White House as a press secretary. She used to work as a press secretary, and she was White House press secretary, and she was chief of staff to Melania Trump.
Yeah.
And she has made the accusation that just after Stormy Daniels came out and was like, "Oh, Donald Trump's a fucking freak," that Donald Trump was on Air Force One and he decided to ring Stephanie and tell her that his penis was not small or shaped like a toadstool.
Or shaped. And like she was just an employee of his.
Yeah, she's just the White House press secretary. Yeah.
She's like, and like
the conversations that were had on this phone from Air Force One were like, JFK has died.
Yeah.
I think did Bush give the order to invade Iraq from Air Force One? And my penis is not small or shaped like a toadstool.
And it's like she's like, not only is he her president of her country, but he's her boss. Just imagine your boss ringing up going, "Hey Ken, I just wanted to know my penis is not shaped like a toadstool," and you're like, okay. There has to be like some form of like sexual harassment like case against Donald Trump at this stage over this thing. Like there's like him ringing up a member of his staff and going, "I just wanted to let you know what my penis looks like."
Yeah, just so you know.
You might never have to see it or get to see it. And his wife's just going, "Why are you ringing this girl?" Imagine like ringing some random girl that you work with and going, "Oh yeah, this is what my penis looks. I know there's a lot of rumors going around what my penis looks. I just want to ensure you that it only looks like this."
Yeah, it does not look like a toadstool. That's pretty much confirmation that it definitely does look like a toadstool.
Yeah, no, if someone rings you and says, "My penis does not look like a toadstool," it 100% looks like, it's like, do not believe them, whatever they say. It's a lie. I promise you it doesn't. And you don't get actual proof, it definitely looks like a toadstool. Yeah. Like, I just, like, his wife's there sitting beside him going, "Why are you ringing this girl?" It's like, this is phone's only for, it just has a big sign over, only for emergencies use only. And he's like, "I don't care. I just have to let my press secretary know this. Get the word out."
Yeah, she needs to know this.
She needs to know this. It's important for her job. She needs to be. I need to fuel her with the right information.
Draft a press release, please.
Yeah, imagine then she goes, "What does he want me to do with this information? Does he want me to do I ring up Fox News and tell him
Donald be released?"
Yeah, Donald Trump has contacted me from the Air Force One, is it?
Air Force One, yeah.
Air Force One, and like wants to reassure his public that like his dick is like normally shaped, well endowed, black like. I don't know what do I do. What do I do with this?
I wonder, did he give any further instructions, or was it just like, "Here you go, this is what I'm telling you," and then he hung up?
It's like, "Okay, sir, what does your penis actually look like?" Oh, what that's that? Like, what? Oh.
I wonder, like, is he one of those people that rings up women and like says weird things on the phone and just hangs up?
Yeah, I imagine she has just a bottle of tequila on her desk. She pulls out the drawer. She like has a little shot glass. She takes a shot. She goes like, "Clear the image out of my head."
Yeah. The phone's ringing again. Oh, what's he want now? What is it this time?
I'm pretty sure there was probably a few dick pics and a few inappropriate messages sent to a lot of the secretaries, I'd imagine. Well paid off.
Yeah, good man, Donald.
Yeah, so like I don't know. We're gonna have to cram a story in. I think we can possibly fit one story in. So there's going to be either the toilets together, and I'm going to leave Meghan Trainor because I think there's more to come with Meghan Trainor. I feel there's more in this story, and I feel this is only the tip of the Meghan Trainor iceberg, and we're going to deep dive Meghan Trainor, not physically but internet wise, and we're going to come like she's probably into a lot of weird shit. That's what I'm saying, and we'll save that for next week's show, and we'll go on to doomsday prepping, because at the start of the show we talked about a man who was arrested, pleaded guilty for having grenades. He also had, I think, like a bow and arrow, knuckle dusters, and hand grenades he made himself, a hypothetical apocalypse scenarios. The police stormed his house and found papers, like basically stuff that could be used to take it to plot some terrorist attack. And the only reason why he wasn't facing terrorism charges is they said, like, we don't really feel like he is actually going to try to like act out any terrorists or has any ideological. He's just, I guess, a wishful thinker or a dreamer. So he's only getting done for the grenades. Grenades were like, those airsoft grenades that you can get with pellets. And like if you go to any airsoft thing, you throw these grenades and they explode and you get pellets all at you. He put shards of metal into these grenades because you can fill them up whatever. A lot of lads, I remember, used to go airsofting and they'd fill up talcum powder and it would just explode and then the person would be full of powder. He had a metal shard, so like they can be weaponized quite easily. And he had like just shards of metal, and I think some had glass as well. So like in case of like attack, he just throw his metal bomb. But gonna raise an interesting question. Like, were you ever a doomsday prepper? Was that something that you're ever really into?
No.
I was. But it was like when I was younger. Like, I always wanted to have, like, in case shit went down, I wanted to be prepared. Like, this is like when I was a child. So I used to stash lights and torches everywhere in case like power went out in my house. I'd have like easy access to like a light, and I'd be secure in the house. I'd have a light, or I'd have a weapon in my room in case like a person. I'd have this like fantasy of like if a person broke into my house, what I'd do in terms of like a scenario of a robber came into my room. Like I was about fucking 13 at this stage. But one of the things I used to keep. The most bizarre was I used to keep an inflated boat behind my bed in case I woke up one morning and the country was flooded. I'm not nowhere near a coast, by the way. Like flooding, like flooding would have to get horrendously bad in Ireland for the fact that it affect the Kildare area, which is like near Midlands. Is like there's no water near us. And I used to keep like an inflated bed just in case. And anytime the weather would get really bad, or if we have any storms and like there's like a really bad like rain, I was like, and you get like slight flooding where there'd be puddles everywhere. I was like, come on, baby, I can use my boat.
Did your parents buy you this boat, or?
Yeah, I think they bought it for the sea. It was like, well, in terms of like when we go to Kirklow, like I can get into the boat and just paddle around the sea. It's probably a good way to lose a kid. That takes me out because it didn't come with any rows. They just sat on the boat. I think your parents are meant to be safe beside you.
I don't know. This definitely seems like this is just a Mark thing.
Yeah, I used to be like definitely for whatever scenario I would have. I always felt like I want to be like ready to go for whatever. I'd have case I ever wanted to disappear. I had a spare like a SIM card. And then it's a spare phone, and I was like, I just have like stash of money. So I was like this is me. Like once again, I couldn't be older than 13 at this stage. Just in case I wanted to go incognito and disappear. I want to be like having like a disappear strategy and stuff like that. And then like my dreams were just came to an end when I brought the boat to Kirklow. And my sister tried to jump over and burst my boat. I was like, no! What if we all drowned? We were drowned. I think there was bad flooding then, like that winter. I was like, it wasn't bad enough that like, I'd need a boat or I was able to sail. I was like, it's getting close. Because I seen parts of the country where like really badly flooded around Cork and Galway where it does get a lot of flooding. So like there are parts of Ireland where if you grew up in these areas, you might like having a boat is not a bad idea. Like you'll get a bit of use out of it in the winter, but when you're like inland where we're not near any coasts and no rivers that can
No,
burst the band. Like you're not going to get used out of an inflated bow.
I can't. No, I can't actually imagine a little fucking 13-year-old Mark being all like, "Oh, we're gonna die if there's a flood."
I know, just on the beach, like, no, do you know what you've done? We're doomed. And yeah.
I never did anything like that.
Oh, really? I think I watched too much disaster programs or stuff. There's definitely something I was watching that was causing me to feel like I think there was a cartoon that used to like have emergency workers, and it's how they saved the day because they're the real heroes. And I think I used to watch that.
I can't remember what it was called. There was one. Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, so I think it was probably watching stuff like that, and there probably was stuff I was watching as a kid that was causing me
Captain Planet and all that kind of
shit. That was causing me like I need to be ready, and I think I was just like I had too much of an active imagination, like So like I remember on holidays I always wanted to buy like daggers and stuff like that just in case, just to be ready. My cousins used to be like a lot worse. I think they must be just kind of into weapons though, because they used to have like ninja throwing stars. They had like switchblades. They had like compound bows.
There's always one kid that has a ninja throwing star.
Yeah.
Like, there's my friend had ninja throwing stars, and I was like, "Why? Like, why? What the fuck do you have these for?" Like,
yeah, I really wanted a bow and arrow. And I was trying to convince for ages for my parents to get me a bow and arrow because it's like, yes, then I'll have a weapon. A long distance weapon. They're like, you'd never use it here. You wouldn't be able to use it in the garden. We don't have the garden for it. But your cousins have bow and arrows. Just go up there and use it. It's like, oh, they have the upper hand. They're in the wilderness.
Bastards.
Yeah, so like I definitely see why this person would feel like the need. I never was like a food storage person. I never like thought we should keep a lot of canned food in the house for just in case things. It was just
just weapons.
It was just weapons and flotation devices. Yeah, so I think we'll leave it there for Mark's Doomsday Mark.
Like, what the fuck was wrong with you as a kid?
Well, yeah, I think there's something wrong with you that you weren't like this. That you weren't like kind of. I have to prepare for something. I just imagine me as a 12 living through a pandemic. What it would have been like. I probably would have been in a bad way. Like I probably would have been like going like ordering. I actually at the start of the pandemic, I was looking at gas masks. So I probably would have wanted a gas mask in the worst way. You know how parents are like, oh, I don't know if I want my kids wearing face masks into school. I'd be the kid going to school with a gas mask on, going. Not taking fucking any chances. Have my little like penknife landing comes in like meters on me getting. You're gonna get stabbed, bitch.
And you're fucking. What's the thing you said you used to have your? I can't even remember what it was.
Boat.
Your boat and I don't know.
Your
grenade. Your fucking grenade full of like talcum powder and shrapnel.
Oh, I never had a grenade. I had the airsoft rifles, but that was more like when I was older. My cousins, we kind of went through a phase where we got really into airsofting, and we used to go up to like places in Wicklow and do these airsoft game things. Like what I wouldn't get about these things was like army reserve army people would sometimes partake in these, and it's like, well, that's an unfair advantage. Actually trained, like, because we were going through this, like, we're in Tallow, and there's this warehouse, this abandoned office building, and some lad was there who was in the army, who's telling us how's the safest way to go down a car door, like, in terms of when you're storming a building. I was like, all right. He's like, you have to keep moving, and he's like telling us instructions. He's shouting instructions at us. I was like, this has gone too real.
Was he actually in the army, or was he in like the fucking FCA?
I think he was in the reserve army. I don't think he was a full-time soldier.
Yeah, because I feel like soldiers would be like, oh, I do this every day. I'm not doing this on my day off.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they do it every day, but they're like, oh, yeah, like this, like, yeah, I don't see the fun. These people are idiots. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Or some people are fucking really good. There was like a group of Asian people. I wouldn't say Chinese, but they were like a group. You had these groups come in, and they'd all just team up together, and they were fucking phenomenal. They had like flashy lights, so like you stick your head out of the car door, you get blinded, and they just shoot you. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Do you know what kind of annoys me a little bit as well? Like, I know like two people that are like this, and they're fucking weird people. But like people that are really, 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 really like over the top into airsoft.
Yeah, like I only got to the point where I bought a handgun and I bought like an M4, and that's because you kind of need a handgun and an M4 when you're playing these games. You need like an automatic gun, and then you do these other close range shooting thingies, so you need a handgun. So like you have to rent, you would have to rent either or when you went up there. So it's easier just to buy both. And so like at that point, and I remember I bought a vest where I could like, I think it was bought as a present for me, because I don't think about, and I bought like a mouth shield in order to like, so I wouldn't get shot in the face.
Yeah.
So like I didn't get, but like, yeah, there's people who would buy saw machine guns like that they have to be put up onto a stilt, and they have full camouflage, and they're painting their face. Like when I got to that point, I'm like, here, yeah, it's like, just a bit of fun.
Like, what's wrong with you?
It is good crack. It's kind of like, it's good to do if you're doing it with mates and you are kind of doing for it is, but there's people get way too invested in it.
I done a paintball once.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
That was an experience.
Yeah, it's not as painful here as paintballing though. I think paintball is worse.
Yeah, paintballing fucking hurts.
Yeah, whereas these, they kind of hurt, but you're wearing a lot of clothing. Like sometimes I got shot in the knee, and I didn't even realize. Your man was like, "Here, you've been shot 4 times," and I was like, "Sorry, didn't feel it." So tough. Flex on him. He just shoots me down. Yeah, it was like. Yeah, so anyway, that's my like disaster story. I kind of grew out of it. Like, so imagine this guy who, I don't know what is.
I kind of grew out of it. I wanted a gas mask when the pandemic started. I grew out.
I said I looked at gas masks when the pandemic first started, but as a kid, I'd be like, I need one of these. These are an essential part of my living. But I just got it, like, in terms of when it first started, we didn't know what we were dealing with, and I was just kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if these would actually work. But and I don't think I'll go around public wearing it. But like, I'd like this is like a gas mask would be cool to have, but a lot of them look like they wouldn't actually work. They like I was looking at, they didn't look like real gas masks. Who doesn't want a gas mask?
I could live without a gas mask.
I don't know. Maybe I think there might be. Now you say it, I think there might be just like there's a little bit still there. Maybe there probably is a hint of kind of like disaster mark still there. Just under the surface waiting to come out.
He's hiding.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Like I said, we went a little bit over time, and look, we got a good debate going. I'm sure people now will be like more informed about whether they want their kids to be in uniforms or not. So we'll leave it there. Talk to you next time.
Good luck.
Shut up and sit down.